If you clicked on this video, then the chances are you want to learn how to make $100,000 per month with a digital product. Now, for a lot of you watching this, that may seem like a daunting challenge, but I can assure you it's 100% worth it, and this is actually one of the easiest business models out there. I know this because I've done it with 4 different products, made over 150 million in sales, and I've helped thousands of people in your exact position build their own digital businesses. So today, I'm going to take you through 4 of the products I made and show you exactly how I built them from scratch without even knowing much about the industry. And I promise if you stick around to the end of this video, you'll have all the knowledge and skills you need to bring your digital product to life and drive revenue numbers like mine. Now let's start by coming up with the numbers you would need on average to make $100,000 a month fairly easily. So on average, you need about $25,000 of ad spend because you get a 4x ROI, $15 leads, right? So the cost is $15 per lead. You need about 1,666 leads. So that's about how much $15 per leads would get you. 10% of those leads convert into calls. That's pretty average, all right? 166 calls. 70% of those show up, so 116, and then you close 30%. So if you close 34 total deals at $3,000, that's $102,000, okay? That puts us at $100,000. So now that we have actual numbers, we need to go into the tangible stuff that you guys are here to learn. Now, first and foremost, you need to understand that when you're creating an offer, everything needs to tie back to health, wealth, and relationships. Anything anyone does is always about getting better health, more wealth, or better relationships. Like there's no in between. No one's doing anything else for any other reason. So for me, I was into fitness very heavy, so I decided that it would be advantageous for me to start there. It's not because I didn't have other skills or I was worried about what would happen. It's just, I was like, hey, I'm very good at fitness. I've been in fitness for 10 plus years. I know nutrition, I knew fitness. I was in super great shape. Like you guys see some of my modeling pictures. That's what I just started to stick with. But not all the products I made have been in an industry that I'm knowledgeable about. I'm gonna do a little more on that later. So with the fitness, what I did is I started Fit Warrior LLC. So that was my entity, legal entity for my fitness company. Decided to do high ticket because that's what I was told to do. And so I was charging $3,000 for 4 months instead of charging, let's say, $50 per month or $25 per month. And I actually wanna show you one of the emails of one of the clients I had, okay? So you guys can understand how this worked. So this is one of the emails you guys can see. It's back in 2017, October 17, 2017. So these were the OG days. And I sent this email, all showed up on the screen, and I basically said, hey, thanks for the talk. I'm only here to work with super serious people. And I would have a bunch of questions. And the main question was this one where I said, my programs are about teaching, not just ordering you around. I tell clients it's a one-time investment. After the program, you should never need another coach again because they'll teach you every last trick of the book. Are you willing to invest physically, mentally, financially, etc.? Okay. And this was his answers. So we actually got on another call, right? Like he said like, hey, I'm willing to like make this happen and you know, we can do it. Right? And I even said here, I pre-framed, I said, all I want to know is if I can make it work financially, meet me halfway and work it out, right? And that's how I would get clients on a sales call. But to get those clients, the first thing I did is I did warm outreach, okay? So when I started a business, I thought the way you got clients is you just put a link in your bio. So I saw guys like Callum Von Moger, Christian Guzman, Bradley Martin, like fitness influencers that I thought they just put a link in their bio. And so many people clicked that link because they had such huge followings that they made a lot of money. Now, in some cases, this can work, but overall, it doesn't really work. And so what I started with is I did warm outreach and I reached out to individuals who are following me on Instagram, Facebook, etc. And I just said, hey, thanks for following me. What's your fitness goals? And at that point, I had changed all my content to fitness. So it was really obvious that that's what I did. And people could see I was in shape and I was posting workout pictures. I was going to the gym, all that type of stuff. So it was really obvious what I did. And what I would shoot for on average is 100 reach outs per day, 20 per hour to avoid, spam blocks. Out of 100 reach outs, I would get, let's say 30 people to respond. So 30 out of 100 people. And then I book, let's say 5 calls and hopefully I close 1 or 2. And I'm a lot better at sales and marketing. So for you, that might not be the same number, but that's about the average number I was looking for. And I maxed that out. I went through every single follower I had. And then when I maxed that out, I went into cold. And what cold is, you're reaching out to a stranger. So you can reach out via IG hashtag. Okay, so I would type in like FitSpo, Fit Mom, Fit Dad, anything to do with fitness. And then I would scroll as fast as humanly possible, right? I get on my iPhone, I scroll as fast as humanly possible until I saw someone out of shape. And if I saw someone out of shape, I'd reach out to that person. And then what I would do is my expectations would go down slightly is I'd do the same 100 reach outs per day. I'd still do the same amount, 20 per hour, but I'd only expect about 10 people to respond. And the reason it's lower is these people are strangers. They don't know who you are. And so you have to expect less people to respond, which means you usually have to do a lot more outreach. Now, the way I would outreach would be a little different. When someone was following me, I just say, hey, thanks so much for following me. What's your fitness goals? I can be really direct. With cold traffic or cold strangers, I had to be a little more indirect. So what I would say is, hey, Jill, sorry if this is weird, but I had to tell you how cute your kids are from a family of 7 kids. Hope that's not weird. And she's like, oh yeah, thanks so much. I'm like, yeah, like, are you super mom? Do you also work a job? She's like, yeah, I do work a job. I'm like, oh, does it keep you busy? And she go, yeah. I go, wow, does that make it hard to work out? And now I was in the pitch without her knowing it, because that sounds very conversational, right? So she'd say it was hard to work out. Then I'd say, what's your struggle? What have you tried? Have you ever had a coach? And then I'd say, well, look, I don't know if you care or not, but I do this fitness stuff all day long. If you're open to it, I can get on a quick call to you and give you suggestions. Cool, here's my number, what's yours? I get on a call, and then if that call went well, I'd send that email that you guys saw earlier that I sent to Richard, and then from there, I'd schedule a sales call. That was my process. So you always wanna do warm first because it's easier, right? There's a lot more of them. They know you better, they're gonna respond better, and then you wanna go to cold. Now, the benefit after that is now that I actually had some sales, I could go to shout outs, okay? And so shout outs is great because at the time I didn't know what a shout out was, but what a shout out is where you find a page, let's say, usually on Instagram, it can be on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere, but usually I'd go on Instagram. And then what would happen is I would pay a page X amount of money, and then by paying them money, what would happen is they would shout me out. So let's say I went to a page that was like healthy nutrition tips, or it was named something like that. And they said it's $400 for a shout out. I'd say, hey, post this picture with this caption, and it'd be a picture of me like in shape or something, and say, hey, follow at tanner.chidester for more fitness tips and tricks. And they come to my page, and then as they come to my page, I would start reaching out to them, and that would be the same as warm followers, right? Because they were now interested in my product and services. So I started doing that. Then from there, I took that money and I put it into ads. So what I realized is the only issue with outreach is that it's limited. You can only do so much per day, right? So even if you're sending 25 messages every single hour, all day, every day, you're limited by how many messages you can send out. So the only way around that is to start running real ads, which is why most companies do. So they could start messaging me. They could start clicking on my stuff. And that took me to the next level, because then what I was able to do is spend 25 grand a month and get $100,000 in revenue. Spend $50,000 a month, get $100,000 in revenue. 75,000, like, etc. right? Now, once I had that process down, my lead gen and my sales and my marketing were all in play. Now I had to do fulfillment. So to start fulfillment, the funny part is that my fulfillment was terrible. And I say that because it's okay when you're starting a business, you're learning. Like, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to look stupid. Just like go in there and have fun. And you'll look back when you're older and you'll just laugh. Now, what I did at first is I had an Excel spreadsheet. And so the Excel spreadsheet would have their calories, macros, the foods they would eat, and then on that sheet, it would also have their exercise. So it was pretty terrible. Like, if you've seen an Excel spreadsheet, it was pretty terrible. What I said is I said, hey, I'm moving you into a new app I made. And in the meantime, I'm gonna make this Excel spreadsheet. And then what I did is I moved them into Trainerize, which at the time is what I used for my fitness fulfillment. Now, I now use My Coach AI, but at the time I used Trainerize, and Trainerize had sets, reps, workouts, videos attached. I could also use something called Evolution Nutrition, which attached to it, which would have their meal plans, their calories, etc. And that's how I did my fulfillment. And then I would check on them every other day. I'd send them a text in the morning. So I get up and I grab my phone, I'd send all my clients a text. I'd wait for them to respond. Everyone would respond usually by noon. And then I'd send them another text, and then by that time it was good. And then I'd respond one more time and the day was done, right? I didn't want to be in a situation where I was like texting one client and then waiting for another client. So maybe I could have done that job better, but that's how I did the fulfillment. From there, I started hiring people and putting them in positions that I didn't want to do anymore, so I could start to get some of my time back. Because as you build a business, you're trying to build wealth, but it takes a lot of your time. Then as you start to make money, you want to pay people to fill in some of those spots that take your time. So I started hiring a VA that would start the messages for me. That gave me hours back a day. Then I hired someone who do the fulfillment for me, right? They were a coach. They get paid per client. That gave me hours back per day. Then I eventually hired a sales rep. That was later down the road, but the first few hires were people who were VAs who did the outreach for me. And then it was a coach, and that gave me hours back a day to create content, go to the gym, you know, whatever I wanted to do. And then that is how I scaled. And really past 100,000 a month, it's all the same. Like, you can get to $100,000 a month business, guys, and you can have 2 VAs. You can have 1 coach. Like, you can have 4 people on your team max. And that's actually some of the best businesses, because like you might make, you know, 1.2 million a year, but you could take home 800, 900,000. And so just keep in mind, it all comes down to profit at the end of the day. So if you need help starting a fitness business just like that, click down below and book a call, and me and my team will walk you through the process, okay? Then ironically, once you start doing well, guess what? People want to know how you became successful, okay? So as I was building a fitness business and a digital product that way, then people started asking me, how did you build a fitness business, right? And so what was cool is I was then able to start helping trainers who were asking for help, because there's thousands of trainers across the nation who don't make hardly any money. I said no at first, but eventually the line was too big, right? I just had so many people asking like, hey Tanner, can you please help me? Can you please help me? That I finally gave in. And then I took people on and I showed them all the processes I just explained to you, the lead gen, the offer, the fulfillment, the sales, everything in between. And then I reinvested the money into lead generation with shout outs and ads. And then I moved my business over, and after it became an issue. And so at first I was doing about $50,000 a month with the fitness business. And then I started helping these other people simultaneously, but eventually doing two things at once is just not great until you have a very large team, or you have a lot of experience. And I had neither at the time. And so eventually I switched from my fitness business over to consulting, just because consulting I could charge 10 grand and fitness I could charge 3 grand, right? And it was just different. I could make a lot more margin, and I was just young at the time. And so looking in hindsight, maybe I would have kept the fitness business, but that's what I did at the time. And so if you need any help starting to help trainers or consult on that, you can book a call down below, okay? Now that got so big, and that actually went from 1 million a year in the fitness business to $10 million a year when I started consulting trainers. And that actually made people outside of fitness start asking for help. They're like, hey dude, like you help these trainers, but can you help us? And I said, yeah. So I started helping people outside of fitness, and I did the exact same things. Like I did the exact same stuff. I showed them lead gen processes. I showed them how to build an offer. I showed them how to create value. I showed them how to do sales calls. I showed them how to post content, all the same things. And so even if you want help outside of fitness, right, you can book a call down below, same exact thing, because we've worked with over 50,000 different clients over the years, and we've worked with hundreds of different kinds of businesses. I worked everywhere from day traders to green card coaches to career coaches to handstand coaches to, I mean, you name it, like I've done it, right? After that, and because I want you guys to see how I continue to grow and how I built digital products, is it continues to be a need. So first it was people were out of shape and I had experience in fitness. Then it was trainers wanted help, and I had done that, so I started showing trainers how to do that. Then I had people outside of fitness, so I started helping that. Then the next thing is we have people who wanted help with ads, okay? And we have people who wanted closers. So I started 2 new divisions, right? So we had some of our clients like, hey, can you run the ads for us, Tanner? Like, we know that you taught us how, but we'd rather you do it for us. And then I had other clients who said, hey, we really need closers. And I was like, wow, like that's another opportunity to continue to build and ascend. So in terms of ads, we just added that service on. And so we never really marketed it to cold traffic, but what we did is we had our current clients, we said, hey, if you need ads, let us know. And we charged anywhere between about $3,800 to $4,000 a month. And we had 20 to 30 clients, boom, right away. And that made us instant recurring revenue. It was great. And again, like a lot of this, guys, comes from as you become successful, there's more opportunities to show people the same things you've learned. Like, and just be frank, like you can just, people are hungry and want to learn. Like I am. I'll pay people to teach me stuff they've learned, right? Okay, so there was that. Now, in terms of career coaching, this was actually easy because our clients needed closers, so we had to find, train, and place closers into their companies. So career coaching is actually really easy, and here's what I did to do it. I started a brand new Instagram account. My main account is tanner.chidester. I started Tanner James Chidester. You could go look it up. It's active right now. And I used someone else initially as a face, but that didn't work out, so I just created my own. Okay, and we start with ads because of my experience. Like one of the easiest ways to start a business is with ads. If you have the payroll, if you have the budget, if you have the team, that's fine. And what we did is we helped guarantee interviews and get placements to make it a no-brainer offer for sales reps. Because like think about it this way, if we say to someone, hey, we're gonna train you in sales, great, it's 5 grand or it's 10 grand. The issue is then they start thinking of what's the downside, right? So they go, well, what if it doesn't work out? What if I don't get a job? What if it doesn't go well? So we started guaranteeing interviews and lifetime placements. I mean, we cannot guarantee that someone's gonna hire you, but we can guarantee we'll get you as many interviews as it takes. And eventually, if you get enough interviews, someone will hire you. It's like dating. It's like the ugliest guy on earth. If they ask out enough girls, some girl's gonna say yes. I know some of you would disagree with that, but like, it's true, okay? So then after that, we realized, hey, this is really easy to sell because making more money in a job is one of the easiest things to do. It's career coaching, essentially. It's like, hey, if you're making this much, you can make this much. And then we started moving the closers to Elite CO clients, and it got even bigger. So we initially saw the need for our clients, but we had to get the offer out there, build proof, get reps, get people in the system, and then we started moving them to our clients. Like, because at first we were initially able to reach out to any companies, but then we started moving to our clients, and it got even bigger because then we were getting paid by our clients for setters and sales reps while we were getting paid by the setters and sales reps to put them with our clients. It was a win-win opportunity, right? So career coaching is one of the most profitable businesses you can have. I actually have a client named Prasha who's doing about $50,000 a month, and she helps STEM individuals get higher placements in their career, like in terms of income. So if they're making 100,000, they'll make 120,000. They're making 120,000, they'll make 150,000, whatever. And so if you need any help creating a career coaching offer, right, or like any type of career advancement, It's one of the best offers you could put out there. It's very easy to sell. It's a lot of people who want it because pretty much everyone's eligible for it. Just book a call down below. So guys, that's exactly how you can build digital products that will make you at least $100,000 a month. And one of the things you're gonna notice with me is I'm one of the hardest workers in the room, but one of the reasons I've been successful is I find the easiest opportunities to capitalize on, so I never have to work harder than I have to, and that will take you very, very far in life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you need help, the links are down below, and I'll see you in the next one.